What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Non-Dairy, and today I'm here to tell you about an exciting blockchain game called Ember Sword. In this video, I'll be giving you an overview of Ember Sword and why I'm looking forward to the game. So without further ado, let's get right into this content and let's start talking Ember Sword. So what is Ember Sword? Ember Sword is a free-to-play MMORPG that takes place in a dystopian fantasy universe, where players will have the chance to earn cryptocurrency. The game is built on the Ethereum blockchain and will be using the Immutable X platform, which is a layer 2 Ethereum solution that offers gas-free minting and trading. In the next few slides, I'll be going over the types of content that you can expect to see when you're playing the game. The first type of content I wanted to cover in terms of Ember Sword gameplay is PvE. PvE gameplay can be done in either the Wilderness Zone or the Kingship Zone. These are 2 of 3 zones that are available in terms of gameplay. The last one is called Outlaw, which I'll be covering in the next slide. In the Wilderness and Kingship zones, players can collect resources, craft items, interact with NPCs to do quests, and even fight monsters and fight open world bosses at the chances of being able to obtain a cosmetic NFT. In the next slide, I'll be going over PvP type of gameplay. The next type of content I want to cover is PvP gameplay. PvP gameplay can either be done in the Wilderness or Outlaw zones. Although I just mentioned in the previous slide that the Wilderness zone is considered PvE, actually, if you find another player that's part of a different nation in a Wilderness zone, you can actually attack them, which makes it a partial PvP area. Now, the other zone I mentioned, Outlaw Zone, is the most dangerous zone within Ember Sword. Now, what makes this zone so dangerous is that there's a free-for-all PvP and PvE system. In this zone, you can collect the most rarest resources, slay high-level monsters, and even fight each other in PvP. Dying in an Outlaw Zone means that you'll lose most of your gear, which makes it a high-risk, high-reward sort of area. In the next slide, I'll be talking about the crafting system. With the crafting system in Ember Sword, players will be able to craft items using stations that are set up within the Kingship and Wilderness zones, and this is where skills will come into play, which I'll be talking a little bit later in the video. In the next slide, I'll be talking about the cosmetic NFTs. Along with being able to earn cryptocurrency just by playing the game, players will also be able to earn cosmetic NFTs. Cosmetic NFTs will be coming in the forms of skins, avatars, emotes, pets, and mounts. There may be more types of cosmetic NFTs that get released in the future, but as of now, these are the types of NFTs we know of. In the next slide, I'll be talking about Ember Sword's immersive story. As stated before, Ember Sword takes place in a dystopian fantasy universe within the world of Danibus. Danibus splits out into 4 home nations, which I'll be talking about in the next slide. And within the Ember Sword game world, you'll be facing tough challenges by having to face off against each other in PvP, being able to help each other out in PvE against world bosses, being able to take on immersive gameplay quests, and also being able to level up your skills from 0 to 100. So Ember Sword's goal really, again, is to make this gameplay as immersive as possible and make it so that you feel like you're wrapped up in the game world itself. With that wraps up the content you can expect in terms of Ember Sword gameplay. So next I'll be talking about home nations. As stated before, Danibus is split out into 4 home nations as shown here in the image in the bottom right hand corner. We have Solarwood, which is a wood-based area. You have Duscaron, which is a desert-based area. You have Sevrend, which is a jungle-based area. And then finally you have Edisau, which is a frigid and tundra-based area. It's important to note that each nation will have unique and valuable resources only available to that specific part of the Ember Sword world. So I highly encourage you guys to think about which nation you'd like to set yourself up with whenever you start playing this game. Now again, please look at the image in the bottom right hand corner to see what the description of each nation is. In the next slide, I'll be talking about the blockchain aspect of Ember Sword. In terms of the blockchain aspect for Ember Sword, there's really 2 key components you need to know about, and that's land plots and cosmetic NFTs. Land plots are NFTs that players can purchase, build upon, develop, and trade within game. I'll be talking more about Ember Sword land later in the video. The second component is cosmetic NFTs. What makes cosmetic NFTs unique is the serialized NFT aspect and the historical NFT aspect. Serialized NFTs would be, for example, if you got a sword skin drop within Ember Sword and it was number 21 out of 500, that means that you have sword number 21 and there's 500 in circulation. The historic NFT aspect I find to be unique, and this would be, for example, if that sword skin that you're using is the first to kill an end game boss, that feature would be displayed on the NFT and it would be marked as game history. What makes this unique is that If you were to sell that sword in the future, your sword would be unique within the 500 minted swords because it has a unique title associated to it. That's everything you need to know about the blockchain aspect of Ember Sword, so let's move on to character setup. In order to get started in Ember Sword, first you'll need to create a character. In Ember Sword, there will be what's called a classless system, which means that there's no planned classes within the game, rather you'll be mastering certain weapon types. In terms of weapon types, the more you play with the weapon, the more you'll level it up and unlock new abilities. There are 3 categories of weapon types, which is melee, which is one-handed sword and shield or two-handed swords, ranged, which is bows, and then energy, which involves magic. Now, in terms of armor types, there's 3 types of armor types as well, which is heavy, which involves plated armor, medium, which involves leather armor, and then light, which involves cloth armor. That's everything you need to know about in terms of character setup, so let's now move on to skills. In the next 2 slides, I'll be going over what you need to know about skills in Ember Sword. First things first, you need to know that there are 16 skills that you can level. Second, when you level these skills, you can level them from level 1 to 100. Third, leveling up skills is tiered based, and the perks of leveling up your skills involve increasing efficiency, obtaining new resources, and obtaining new abilities. If you look at the image below me, you can see what tiers will be available in the game and what level you need to be to reach these tiers. In the next slide, I'll be going over some examples of skills that you'll be able to level in the game. So again, here's a few examples of skills that you can level in the game, such as mining, lumberjacking, fishing, skinning, harvesting, smelting, cooking, armor crafting, and weaponsmithing. These are just half the skills that we know of, and there's more to come on the remaining skills as we find out more information on the game. Next, I'll be going over the game's cryptocurrency, which is called Ember. So what is Ember? Ember is the premium currency that will be used in the game. It's considered an ERC20 token, and again, this will be the cryptocurrency that you can earn just by playing the game. Now, the utility of the token, what we know as of now is that there will be 3 key uses for utility of the token, and that is it'll be tradable on the exchange for items that you want. You can pay for cosmetics using the Ember token, and finally, you can purchase an optional subscription that'll give you perks such as extra bank slots and even unique collectibles every month. With that being said, let's now move on to the NFT land. In this section of the video, I want to talk about the 4 land types that you could own in Ember Sword, the properties that your land type could have, and also the perks of owning said land. So with that being said, let's talk about the first land type, which is the regular plot. The regular plot is sized 1x1, which is equivalent to 1 screen in game. There's possible traits that your regular plot could have, such as a rich mineral deposit, a rare monster spawn. It could be the entrance to a cave. You can put a small NPC house on there, or you could even put a campsite on there. The perks of owning a regular plot is the revenue generation of Ember tokens and having the title of Sir or Lady assigned to your account. The next plot I want to talk about is the settlement plot. The settlement plot is also sized as a 1x1, which again is similar to 1 screen in game. There's 3 placeable buildings you can put on a settlement, which are small player housing, small guild house, or even a small player store. The perks of owning a settlement are revenue generation of Ember tokens and having the title of Baron or Baroness. The third land type I want to talk about is the town. The town is sized as a 2x2, which is equal to 4 plots. The placeable buildings you can put here are similar to settlement. You can also have, in addition to that, a refinement station, crafting buildings, medium guild house, even an exchange network, which is a place where you can sell items for Ember. Now, the perks of owning a town are revenue generation of Ember tokens and having the title of Earl or Countess. The final land type that you could own is a city. A city is a size of 4x4, which is equal to 16 plots. The placeable buildings you can put on a city are the same buildings as a town. In addition to that, you can put on a large guild house. You can place portals there. You can have a caravan trading post, and finally you can have an exchange network. The perks of owning a city are revenue generation of Ember tokens and having the title of Duke or Duchess. In the next section, I'm going to be talking about the NFT Land Economics and why you should possibly think about owning land in Ember Sword yourself. In this section, I want to go over the NFT Land Economics and what it means for a landowner in terms of the revenue that you can generate within the game. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So in terms of land economics, what can landowners hope to receive in terms of revenues? Well, landowners can earn passive Ember earnings in the form of item drops that happen on their land or from the use of their facilities. The more activity, gameplay activity, and player activity you have in your land, the more money and Ember you can earn. There's also the aspect of NFT trading. So what does that mean? NFT trading is if a player finds a cosmetic collectible on or around your land and sells it, you can earn profits from it as shown in the image below. In this example below in the image, it's showing what happens if a player sells an collectible for $100. You can see that there's a 7% exchange fee. Half that exchange fee goes to Ember Sword, which their company's Brightstar, and then the other half goes to landowners. You can either own a portion of the $2.50 if your land was in the local area where the drop happened, or you can earn $1 from the global distribution, which means that all landowners earn a portion of the dollar from the sale. In the next slide, I'll walk you through how much you can earn from the $2.50 related to the NFT sale. Before I walk through the calculation of how much you can earn from the $2.50, I want to note two things. One, the calculation is somewhat complex, so if you need to go back and watch this section of the video, I don't blame you, because the Medium article made it quite complex as it was. Second, I need to talk about the NFT Land Multiplier aspect. Each plot has a certain reward multiplier. The bigger plot that you own, the higher the reward multiplier you get, which means that the higher the portion of earnings you get in terms of the NFT sale. In this case, a regular plot has a reward multiplier of 1, settlement of 10, town plot has 50, and the city plot has 125. So now that I've talked about that, we can now go over the land economics example. Let's say, for example, that $100 collectible dropped within a 20x20 plot, and owner A owns the following: 16 city plots, 3 settlements, and 81 regular plots. And then owner B owns 8 town plots, 2 settlements, and 90 regular plots. And then owner C owns 8 settlements and 192 regular plots. How much does each owner own of that $2.50? Well, I'm glad you asked. Let's look at the calculation. Again, it was important that I walked you through reward multipliers because each plot that each owner owns, you have to multiply it by that rateable reward multiplier factor. In this case, owner A has a reward multiplier total of 2,111. Owner B has a reward multiplier of 512, and owner C has 272. If you combine all those reward multipliers, you can see that the total is 2,895. Why is that number important? Well, you'll see in the next slide, owner A is going to get a majority of the portion, and I'll explain why. Again, owner A, out of the $2.50, owner A gets $1.82, owner B gets 44 cents, and owner C gets 23 cents. Why did owner A get so much? It's because his reward multiplier was so high, and when you fractionalize his reward multiplier, you get roughly 79%. So he's getting 79% of the $2.50, which is why owner A gets $1.82. Again, the more plots you own and the higher the reward multiplier is, the more you get in terms of the local area earnings. So again, if you guys need to go back and watch this section, I highly encourage you guys to do so. That was everything I had to say about NFT land economics and possible reasons why you'd want to get into being a land owner in Ember Sword. In the next section, I'll be talking about how you can play to earn in Ember Sword. So how can you play to earn in Ember Sword? Well, I'm glad you asked. There's really 4 ways you can play to earn. The first is to earn monthly cosmetic NFTs through objectives set by the Ember Sword devs when the game launches. These objectives could be PvE and or PvP related. Second, you can earn NFT drops, more specifically cosmetic NFT drops when you fight monsters, because there's always a random chance that they drop one. 3, you can earn Ember in the game, and you can use the Ember to purchase NFTs, to which you can sell those NFTs in the marketplace. And 4, you can acquire Ember in land plots. As stated before, there's a couple of ways that you can earn Ember, and that's just through passive generation by players playing on your land plot or using your buildings, and also the possible chance that someone drops an NFT on your land plot, because every time that NFT gets sold, you will be earning a passive portion of the sale. So now that we've talked about the play to earn mechanics, let's now talk about what's happened thus far in Ember Sword. Alright, so you guys are probably wondering what's happened thus far in terms of Ember Sword, news that they've launched, and just maybe even gameplay developments. Well, what's happened so far is that the Thanabis Cup has launched, which is an exclusive event within the Ember Sword Discord that allows for the 4 nations to compete with each other. If you guys want to get involved with that, be sure to join their Discord, which I've left in the description below. You have a chance of winning exclusive prizes such as cosmetic NFTs. You have the chance of winning some land plots and even some badges possibly just for competing and placing during the Thanabis Cup. Second, there have been 2 community land sales where two sections of Solarwood Nation have been sold, and finally, 50,000 members have joined their Discord. If you don't already believe the hype around Ember Sword just by watching this video, you gotta note that 50,000 other members have joined this Discord and are ready for this game to come out, and they're ready to play to earn and be immersed in some amazing gameplay. So with that, let's now talk about what's next in terms of the roadmap. There's 3 things to know in terms of the roadmap. One is there will be more land sales, TBD in the future. Not really sure on dates because they haven't really announced anything, but if you want to find out more about when their next land sale is, again, highly encourage you guys to check out their Discord. I've left a link in the description below. Second, there will be alpha access coming out very soon. Next month, they'll be having pre-alpha testing for people who own land or own a badge so that they can play during their technical testing periods. I'll be covering a video on that very shortly when they release their Medium article. And finally, other nations will be opening up 2023 and beyond. So with that being said, that's everything I had to cover for Ember Sword gameplay in terms of an overview. So with that, thanks so much for checking out my YouTube video. I really appreciate it. Please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Please be sure to also hit the follow on Twitch and Twitter. I want to emphasize Twitch because, again, alpha access will be coming out in April, and I actually own a land plot, so I'll be qualified to play during the technical testing. So please be sure to hit the follow on Twitch if you want to see some cool Ember Sword pre-alpha testing on my Twitch. That's right. Again, if you guys enjoyed the video, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.